Hey everybody, Carrie Cox here. Today I wanted to discuss metabolism and why I'm always going against the grain with less calories and low calorie and reducing calories and kind of talking more about metabolism itself. So oftentimes people go in and want to lose weight. When we want to lose weight, we're told all the time, eat less, move more. So truthfully, yes, moving more and eating less forces the body to go in and use up excess calories that we have stored in the body itself. There is, however, a matter of time that works for. And most people, what we're doing is we're going in and we are reducing our calories, moving more, and then continuing to do that. We keep moving more, lowering calories, moving more, lowering calories, running more, going longer, lifting longer, changing all these things and then reducing our calories. We start at 1500, then we go to 14, then we go to 13, then we go to 12, then we go to 1000. And then before we know it, within 3 weeks or so, we're noticing we're plateauing and we're worn out. We have low energy and we just don't know why. We're just not continuing to lose weight. We've stalled out. We keep reducing and we just keep stalling out. And then if we slip up anytime and we eat excess calories, we gain a ton of weight. So now we turn the food into the enemy because if I eat more or I eat anything I enjoy, I gain weight. So I can't enjoy life. I can't enjoy food, which then stresses me out. Now I'm high stress. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not recovering well. I'm not doing any of the real things that I need to have happen. And I'm not trending in a positive way anymore. And then I decide, okay, whatever. And then I just start eating like I was before. And I just keep gaining weight and gaining weight and gaining weight. So what's happened? So reducing calories and working out more. Yes, it starts off, our body is not used to what we're doing. Then we're moving more, we're burning more calories, we're forcing our body to go in and use up what we have stored. But after so long of doing that, the body wants to adjust. It goes to homeostasis. And because that, it finds a way to adapt. And usually that's by lowering the metabolism and we have less energy. So now we're coming down. Typically, what you should be doing in these time frames is allowing yourself to come up after so long. If you do it appropriately, the lowering calories and then increasing calories, your body will keep guessing and it won't feel like it's starving. You allow yourself to recover. This is the way carb cycling is working. Carb cycling is you're doing low calories for 2 or 3 days, and then a day you get a little excess calories. So now we're getting excess. The body can recover. The body's not going into a stress out mode. It doesn't think that we're, excuse me, in a fight or flight mode and that we're starving. So it doesn't start holding on to calories. It keeps us flexible, metabolically flexible, so we can still get up and do and burn. So if you are processing properly and lowering calories for the right amount of time, and then increasing those calories for the right amount of time and keeping quality, then you can ebb and flow through that and keep your body in a flexible state to where you can continue to lose. But if you are not sleeping well, you're highly stressed out, you're under eating and overworking, you're creating a lot of damage within the body, and that will negatively impact you, especially as women. Hormone function, and this is why even doing like the intermittent fasting, they recommend that women don't do it 7 days of the week, that we have sometimes that we're allowed to do that excess. You also have to take into consideration when you start to do these things is how well is your digestion flowing? Am I actually digesting and getting in the nutrients I need so I can recover, so I can build muscle mass, so I can balance my hormones? Because if you're not digesting well, if you're bloated, you're gassy, you're very irritated by foods, you're very low energy, especially first thing in the morning. Your sleep, your tossing, your turning. A lot of this is going to impact on how your metabolism is going and functioning. So we want to make sure that your digestion's working. Specifically for most people, I would say look at liver. How well do you digest fats? That's helping to get minerals in. Fats support a lot of hormone function, calming the body, supporting the brain. It does a wide variety of things. And I know most people feel like when they get fat, they become fat, especially women. But women and children very much need their healthy fats or their fats. I hate to even say healthy fats because everyone is so confused as what healthy fats are. Quality, grass-fed, free-range animals and the fats that are on them are good for you. Plant oils that haven't been in a high heat are okay, but we tend to do too much of that, which can cause inflammation. But you want organic, you want ones that have not been done in a high heat. You do not want deep fried foods. You don't want fats that have been mixed with sugars. Any of those things will impact you negatively when it comes to fats. However, doing animal fats, which has been not good, depending on your digestion and everything, different fats impact people a little bit differently. But for the most part, most animal fats, as long as they're done with herbs and spices, not with an abundance of sugars, not deep fried, are good for you and can help you. Most women that I put on a diet doing high fat are amazed when they drop. Even guys, when you put them towards more of a high fat, quality fats, the raw dairies, the grass fed, free range, animal butters, things like that, they tend to do fairly well. And their body is even the hormonal state and the mental state do well. So you need to be metabolizing them because metabolizing your food is what gives us energy and what's allowing us to rebuild and support all of our organ function. It is key to be pushing for muscle mass growth. Even if you're someone, as a woman, who doesn't want muscle, most of us have to do quite a bit to get it to actually show muscle. Your body fat has to be quite a bit under, and you have to have a good chunk of the muscle mass. And it doesn't come very easily to us as women. So striving, however, though, to make sure you're getting the right amount of proteins and the water and balancing your hormones, the more muscle mass you can get, usually the better, because even when you're sitting, your body is burning calories because that muscle mass takes a lot of energy to maintain. Now, people also, I think, get a lot of misconception of whether you need to have quality things or not. There's a lot of, if it fits your macros, eat it. And yes, you can do that. But if you're looking for health, I recommend you are doing the organic. You're doing fermented foods. You're doing free range, pasture raised. You can get in really slender condition and muscle mass and still be unhealthy. I've done it myself. So you want to be able to use quality because one, the body recognizes the foods. Two, the toxicity level that you will have will be a lot less, which is where disease factors can come into play there. So, making sure that you're setting yourself up for developing muscle mass and to have health in their cells can be a big difference of when you get to your goal, how healthy you are and how good you really feel. Everybody's going to be a little bit different if how carbs and fats impact them, mostly based on, oh, I got a fly in here, mostly with dependent on how you're digesting those things. If bacteria in your gut are bad, eating excess of carbohydrates could make you feel very tired, lethargic, and itchy, mucousy, itchy ears, things like that. Someone who doesn't digest their fats very well and need to support that liver gallbladder area, They can feel like a pain in the gut, burping often, having diarrhea, different things like that can all be a manifestation of not digesting fats well. Proteins, most people do well with. You can do a variety of proteins. There are plant-based ones, but the ones that are actually a full complete amino acid are hemp, buckwheat, soy, which I don't recommend people do. Um, Hemp, buckwheat, quinoa. Those are some of the plant-based foods that you can do bone broth that will actually have protein in it and is very nutrient dense. You can do raw dairies that will have proteins to them, whey or plant-based. Plant-based is a little bit different of how things are available, but some people that are not very lactose tolerable need to do a plant-based more so than, but you usually will want more because the fibers inhibit you absorbing the proteins as well. So, but oftentimes, what I see in my office is people who are quite a bit overweight who are eating next to nothing. They are not people who are downing every food that they can look at. They oftentimes, yeah, they're probably not the cleanest, but ultimately, if you were to tally up their calories, even the crap food that they eat, they're not eating more than 1,200 calories at times. And that in a lot of places doesn't help. You need your base metabolic rate is about you being able to have enough nutrition for your vital organs and body to just do basic function, just laying on the couch, basic function to keep you alive. So, and most people go higher than that. Now, if somebody is severely overweight and someone's putting you on a lower for a time frame, that's okay because it will force the body to pull from the storage you have. But you have to be feeling full. You have to be actually digesting, and you don't want to stay at that low calorie forever. You need those ebb and flows more for stress factors that it puts on your body and that those chemicals that are releasing when you're having and enjoying what you're doing. You're constantly not eating things that you enjoy. You're creating a stress, which you'll need to deal with as well. If you're someone who is high stress, doesn't sleep well, or has horrible gut, those are three things that you should fix and help master before you really jump into full on losing weight, or that should at least be a part of the plan to help you with that. Because if we're not sleeping well, that impacts our blood sugar handling. And if we are not digesting, we can't actually refeed and recover, which also will mess with your sleep and your hormone function. Stress will also add to the hormone imbalance. And if you have an excess of estrogens because of a bad gut, because of toxicity, any of those, you'll produce an extra source of estrogen factors, which can impact, and the adrenals get impacted. And adrenals are a big part of what the testosterone, which is going to be more of the muscle mass. So you need to balance those things out so that you can. But I guess my main point in all of this is just eating less and working out more will not be the end all kill all. And the whole reason I started my nutrition journey was because I was going through bodybuilding competitions and listening to a gentleman who has his PhD in nutrition and how he was talking about most coaches out there are creating metabolic damage because they just keep reducing, and increasing the amount of work somebody's doing. And before you know it, you have metabolic damage. Now, if you have metabolic damage, it is not an easy thing to just turn around. It can take years of work, constant work, and supporting hormone function, sleep, stress, and balancing out and getting digestion working and flowing properly for you to fully recover and be able to do and lose weight like normal. So you want to avoid, and I see a lot of people do not need coaches to do this. A lot of us are jumping into it by ourselves, thinking we know what we're doing and going and reducing, work. And now we're just kind of stuck. We have no idea what to do. Our hormones are all over the place. Our gut is all over the place. And we are just wrecked. And we're frustrated. And we just are done with it all. And that's usually when people are giving up. But I'm telling you, you get your body digesting properly, you get the right foods in there, you support actual health and balancing the calorie intake should be easy to figure out and manage, but you'd want to work with somebody who understands how to ebb and flow that. You should be cycling through times where you're at lower and times where you're at higher. And then for someone like me, I'm definitely looking at the quality of foods that my patients are taking in. Because if you're ingesting a ton of chemicals, you're eventually going to hit the point where you may have a massive amount of inflammation. You may have a autoimmune disorder. You may have Lyme's disease, fibromyalgia, any of those factors from an increased aspect of toxicity. And it's so easy anymore to get exposed to so many toxins that we hold that in our tissue. And that is also another aspect of gaining weight. Now, when you're to the point where you have such a high amount of body fat, you have just your fat tissue itself is its own endocrine organ and is impacting inflammation and hormones and everything else, to making it another tricky step of getting in health and getting to your ideal weight. So you'll want to look at that and support that as well. I know there's a ton of fear out there about eating too much and about fats. And those are two misconceptions that are out there that have been used as a way of manipulating. But I would say a lot of those people who have a lot of fear are still there and stuck in that fear. So you need to be able to digest, sleep, know how to de-stress yourself and support those things, deal with cortisol, blood sugar handling, and those kind of things within there, which anyone who has a proper knowledge of nutrition should be able to help you. But you have to be dedicated to the journey and find someone who understands the ebb and flow and does not just keep smashing and getting rid of calories for you and telling you to go out and work harder. If you're not losing weight and you drop and then add a bit of exercise and not able to rebuild and add more calories in, there's a problem with your metabolic flexibility, and you will want to solve that as soon as you can. So I hope this is helpful. If you guys are interested in working with someone or need some guidance with any of this or wanting good quality supplements to help support any, whether that's your gut, whether that's hormone function, whether that's stress, go ahead and go to my website, utahfoundationalnutrition.com, and I am happy to help you out. There's a free health survey you can take, and I can give you recommendations. You can buy them on the site or not, or you can come in and do a scan. I do also now have my EVOX, which helps a lot of people with their internal perceptions. If we see ourselves as an overweight, sick person, we tend to be held at an overweight, sick person and keep coming back to that. Working through our emotional aspects and perceptions that we've held inside and getting to a better place with those are also important. And that is what the EVOX helps. It's a perception reframing system. So it helps you to shift some of those emotional perspectives. So if you guys have any questions, you want to set up an appointment, feel free to go to my website, utahfoundationalnutrition.com. You can order supplements there. You can set up appointments or even do the survey itself, which is free. So let me know, and I hope this was helpful. Thanks. Have a great day, guys.